Greetings everyone, Joseph James here with the nightly newsletter brought to you by theschooloftrade.com. Today was August 3rd, 2009, first day in a new month here in August 2009. Guys, wrapped up a great month of July last Friday. Great $1,000 day here in the room last Friday. Finishing up our month of July with a bang, just shy of $10,000 on 3 contracts. And of course, coming into August, guys, we want to remind you we are about 30 days now away from getting back to the real trading, right, that comes as part of our fall trade. I want to remind you guys before we get into the results today in the trade room that we have a free resource online for you. Go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/School of Trade. And please, guys, when you watch these videos, they're loaded with lots of great trading info about our own methodology. We cover terms of the day. We go over all of our trades with you guys. Guys, please take a moment and rate and comment on those videos. It'll mean the world to us. It'll help us spread the word about the School of Trade more. And we really appreciate it. Take a couple seconds out of your day to rate and comment on those videos on the YouTube page. Now today, guys, we had some great winning trades at the beginning of our day. Gave that money back towards the end. I'm going to show you guys what it looked like here this morning. We ended up putting $60 in our account today, $60 US. I know, very small number. On 3 contracts, of course. We'll show you how we got there today. Our weekly total, of course, first day of the week is 60 and the first day of the month. So we're starting fresh right from zero again. And we'll show you guys how we keep track of that throughout the month. Let's talk about our live trade room. Opens up tomorrow at 2:45 a.m., so come out and join us. The beginner's course is highly recommended for all free trial members. It's a great jump start to your 3-week trial. Now, the room is open to trial members and lifetime members. And remember, tomorrow's Tuesday, so make sure to come out and join us for our free webinar at 11:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, we'll trade the European session at 3 a.m. We'll also trade the U.S. session 8 o'clock, 9:30, up until about noontime, and we'll close the room down at noontime. We have 3 jobs. The first job is to identify the news events and the market we see. The second job is to adjust to those events and adjust with support and resistance, right, to adjust to the market we saw. Then, of course, job number 3 becomes very simple. If we do job number 1 and 2 correctly, then we can execute our trades with patience and discipline. Wait for only the perfect setups to come our way. And we remind you guys to stop thinking so much, right? Lots of intelligent people every day in our trade room, and we have a bad habit of overthinking our trades. So stop thinking so much and follow those mechanical rules. And as always, we go over those mechanical rules with you guys in our trade room every single morning. So come out and join us. Let's take a look at some of the trades we took today. Now, today was a rather slow, sluggish start to the month of August. We expected Mondays to be a little bit quiet because people are coming back from vacation. They're obviously in the summertime months. They're taking 3-4 day weekends. Today was also a Canadian holiday. This day was a civic holiday in Canada. So a lot of them had their day off today, as well as I believe there were a couple holidays spread out throughout Europe today. So that may have contributed to a little bit of the lower volume environment we saw. Nonetheless, though, we got our day started off this morning pretty well. 1048 this morning. We had a 2-step long here. This, of course, on the crude oil. 1048, 2-step long. This, of course, was called as a high-risk trade here because of overhead resistance. Price action was very strong at this point. Lots of new buyers coming in the tape, so we decided to take it anyways. This one got us +3, +6 for 9 ticks here. And, of course, at $10 per tick, it'll put about $90 in your pocket here on a 3-contract account. So 1048, 2-step long, of course. This, of course, is called Live in the Room with entries. You guys watched as we managed our trades right in front of you guys. Lots of opportunities here today, guys, to see our trades being managed. Now, this is one trade here in the crude oil, 1048. Now, this is where we got our day started off with on the euro. Okay, 940, I'll zoom in here. This was after we had already seen a wave long fail. We had waited for a 2-step short to fail. We looked for another wave long just before 940. We missed that wave long. In fact, called it live in the room. Price moved so quickly, though, it just kind of got a little bit slippery there, got ahead of us, and we simply didn't have the luxury of chasing that trade. Right? We're not going to chase after it. So missed that trade there about 937, 936 this morning at that 43.40 level on the euro. But then, of course, we did catch the 2-step short coming right back down. Now, of course, the wave long, the first wave long, this was a good trade. The second wave long, though, as you can see when it kind of came up here to this 43.55 level, it failed. And so when price tried to break above the 43.55, we were unable to see any more buyers come in. Of course, that tells us this 2-step is in order. So we marked our swing lows, and we looked to get involved here 40 minutes past the hour, 2-step short at 38. This is a pretty good winning trade here, +3, +6, +8, total of 17 ticks. And, of course, We then tried to parlay this into a wave short. Now, as you guys can see here on your screen, great example of how we can go from a wave to a two-step to a wave to a two-step back and forth as the price is moving around. So after we took this two-step short, we then looked to continue with that trend for a wave short to the downside. Now, if you can see here, it's a little bit tough to see, but there's a little tiny stutter step pattern here. And what happened was we saw everything set up perfectly for this wave short just after 9:40 when we took that two-step short for the winner. Everything looked great, except for the fact that price literally stopped on the time and sales window and then continued the downside. And as you guys know, we're very big sticklers regarding getting involved with trades when we see that stop in the time and sales window, or when we see fewer people participating, which will slow down price tremendously, because we know at that time literally anything could happen to help our trade or to hurt our trade. So of course we saw price action slow down here about 9:45, and we decided to skip that trade. Nonetheless though, it chopped around down there below this 43, 28, 29 level there, the red line, before it came right back up. You know, we were in the right direction. We were reading the market correctly. But of course, as you can see, it did end up getting down there for us. It would have been a winner, but we're going to follow our rules every single time, no matter what. We're very confident in those rules to keep us out of the lower probability trading opportunities and help us obviously maximize our profit. So of course, we then looked for a wave long up here in the upper right-hand corner just after 10 o'clock. This wave long, another one of those examples today on the euro where the lower volume kind of made it difficult for us to find any entries here. This is a wave long that we disqualified here, again, just after 10 o'clock here, above that 43.55 level, where we had slow price action, the trigger line flattened out, and it was happening right after the news pushed this thing to the upside. We were concerned that this thing was going to end up coming right back down to where it started. So we were a little bit skeptical as far as taking that wave long here, especially with the trigger line flattening out and the price action. Now, of course, at this point, we're up a couple $100 on the day, until, of course, I decided to give it all back. Well, pretty much all of it. I gave it back towards the end of the morning here. Never like to do this stuff. This is always something that I'm really adamant against, and that is taking higher risk trades towards the end of the morning session. And as you can see here, just about 11 o'clock, 10:59, a little bit disappointed that I tried to take this trade this morning. It was called live in the room, and as you guys can see, we had been looking for a trade set up here for about an hour since 10 o'clock. Wave longs to a two-step short, and nothing seemed to be adding up here this morning, whether it had been slow price action or flat trigger lines or whatever the reason was. We were disqualifying a lot of these trades, and for good reason. There was really nothing here setting up for us after we saw things move. So we did the right thing. We disqualified the trades that we wanted to disqualify, but this at 10:59, this two-step short here, Phil was at 11. Now this is one of those examples where I will take full responsibility, made a mental mistake here. I absolutely should have cut this loss early. We knew it wasn't going to hold. And of course, when price started to come back up in our face, should have got out of this thing early, right? It would have been a lot smarter here to cut that loss early. We knew right away, because of the price action, that it wasn't going to be that perfect, explosive move that we thought it was going to be. So that should have been a heads up right there. And of course, we talked about that in the room this morning. When we see that price isn't moving in our direction, guys, it makes no sense to hang out and watch. Get out of that trade. You're going to know exactly when that trade is going to move in your direction. And when it does, we stick it out. But if it's not moving in our direction, if price stops or it slows down or it pops right back up in our face like we saw here, it makes no sense to delay the inevitable here. So get out of that trade. We learned two valuable lessons here at 11 o'clock this morning in the euro. The first lesson we learned was that the two steps needed to be close to the extremes. Now, as you can see, this two-step, right, was a ways away from the extreme, right? It was right up in the center of this range. I should have seen this thing a little bit lower, so we could have got this below that 4,400 level. So the first lesson was we needed to, of course, make sure our two steps were taken around the extreme, so around these red lines. The second lesson we learned, though, was that a high-risk two-step at 11 o'clock, probably not the best idea for a trade to take, right? A high-risk trade towards the end of our morning, all we had to lose was the money we worked so hard to make. And of course, as you guys saw, it gave back about $200 there on that 24-tick loss. So of course, learn from these mistakes, and we'll make sure that we don't repeat them tomorrow morning in the trade room. So come out and join us tomorrow, 2:45 a.m. Right, guys? The beginner's course is recommended for all trial members. Remember to grab our YouTube videos on our YouTube page. Make sure you rate and comment on those videos. And as always, guys, hope the video helps. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Live room opens up at 2:45. Bye-bye for now.